Theory and strategies, motivating the minds of high school seniors. Hello, educators and instructional leaders. Welcome to today's session on motivational strategies for 12th grade classrooms, grounded in expectancy value theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the Pygmalion effect, and pro social motivation. Today, I want to share a few firsthand accounts from my 12th grade classroom where I teach a culturally diverse community of learners with a wide range of educational backgrounds and ability levels. We'll explore four motivational scenarios, analyze high impact strategies, connect each approach to major motivation theories, and review concrete classroom results. Everything you see today comes directly from authentic field experiences. A little about me before we begin. I'm a 29-year veteran high school teacher. The majority of my career was spent teaching ninth grade civics and world geography. I've been teaching the much different teen animals known as seniors since 2018. The differences in the minds and behaviors of freshmen and seniors are staunch. My experiences in learning the difference are showcased in this presentation. But that's enough about me. Let's jump in. Senioritis is the first and perhaps the biggest difference between freshmen and seniors. Freshmen enter the building with a blank slate, knowing it's the beginning of their journey, whereas with seniors, their ninth, 10th, and 11th grade year experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, typically elicit a totally different sentiment of can we just get this over with little to nothing required, which is known as the apathetic senior scholar condition of senioritis. There is no one antidote for senioritis, but hopefully today's seniors scenarios and strategies will equip you to help your senior scholars conquer senioritis to graduate. To set the foundation, we're drawing from several key theories. Maslow reminds us students need safety and belonging before achievement. Expectancy value theory explains that students are motivated when they believe they can succeed and see value in tasks. The Pygmalion effect shows how expectations shape performance. Yang's 2019 findings highlight the power of relatedness and positive relationships, and pro social motivation research emphasizes that students thrive when learning connects to identity and community. Scenario one is all about creating supportive, safe, and dynamic classrooms for the minds, personalities, and previous experiences of seniors. The classroom environment for seniors is not as much about the aesthetics as it is about the inner workings of the classroom, which are built around classroom rituals, procedures, and expectations. The aim is building a safe space that serves as the foundation of a class culture where every student's voice is respected, an environment that empowers and inspires free thought, critical thinking, and both individual and collective growth. Creating an emotionally safe and belonging classroom setting aligns with Maslow's levels of safety and belonging as they are the foundations for learning. Students must first feel physically and emotionally safe before they can focus on higher level cognitive tasks. Creating a secure and welcoming environment allows students to develop positive relationships, build self-esteem, and engage more effectively with their peers and curriculum. The following strategies and activities begin on day one, but should be consistent routines that permit seniors progress in the realms of esteem and self-actualization. Student personal information sheets are used to learn the personal information like birthdays, birthplace, favorite items, special talents, and goals of your students. Also, anonymous sharing sessions are carried out by giving all students a sticky tab to write their thoughts and positions on different topics that are then read aloud and respectfully discussed in class to give credence to all students' perspectives. Third, teachers conducting brief check-in and check-out conferences with seniors. And then to help with Maslow's second and third levels of safety and belonging, it reflects the expectancy value theory principle that students must believe they can succeed before they will invest effort. Wingfield and Eccles emphasize that expectancy beliefs are shaped by previous experiences and environmental cues, so it is essential to create an environment where mistakes are normalized and efforts are rewarded. The Pygmalion effect is a sociological phenomenon where higher expectations lead to improved performance, also known as the Rosenthal effect. It suggests that person's belief in the ability of another can become self-fulfilling prophecies, influencing their behavior and ultimately their performance. I intentionally communicated high expectations for students, especially those who had internalized negative academic identities. I would say things such as, I believe in your ability to master this, and I expect you to succeed because I know your strengths. The results reflected the Pygmalion effect, which demonstrates that students rise to the level of expectations communicated by teachers. Within weeks, students who were quiet and disconnected became more engaged, completing assignments they had previously avoided. This evidence aligns strongly with the theory expectations shape performance. The theory was visible in real time. Expectations directly shaped performance in my classroom with my seniors. They say men die for it, women lie for it, and kids cry for it. What is it? Recognition. Many times, recognition in the classroom takes on the form of providing positive reinforcement. The motivational theory most directly correlated to positive reinforcement in the classroom activities is operant conditioning, a core principle of behaviorism as expressed in the theories and developed by B.F. Skinner. He states that behaviors are learned through their consequences, meaning that a desired behavior will be repeated more often if it is followed by a reward or positive reinforcement. This aligns with expectancy value theory, in that positive feedback can enhance a person's belief in their capacity to succeed, which in turn leads to increased effort and engagement in their tasks. Simply stated, as a teacher gives positive competence feedback to their students, it increases students' expectancy beliefs and effort. Self determination theory suggests that intrinsic motivation increases when students feel a sense of competence, autonomy, and relatedness. Positive reinforcement, particularly when involved, when it involves choice and celebrates mastery, can support these feelings even more. Extrinsic motivation is the driving force behind using rewards. While extrinsic motivation can be effective for increasing short term motivation and performance, some theories caution that over reliance on external rewards could potentially decrease long term intrinsic interest in the subject itself. In a classroom, this can be applied through activities like giving verbal praise, tangible rewards, or extra privileges for positive behaviors. All of these are in my class, all of these are used in my classroom, but one of the funniest for seniors is my use of stickers on graded quizzes and tests. Seniors act like stickers are corny, but they secretly love them. Rosenthal, Wierfeld, and Inglis emphasize that students must understand the value of effort. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck proposed the mindset theory, which centers on two contrasting beliefs about intelligence and ability: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Fixed mindset individuals, which are fixed mindset, believe that their abilities and intelligence are static, innate traits that cannot be changed. Whereas growth mindset individuals believe that their intelligence and abilities are malleable and can be developed through dedication, hard work, good strategies, and learning from mistakes. They embrace challenges, persist in the face of failure, view effort as a positive means of mastery, and an essential part of the learning process. In my class, the onus was to build the growth mindset of students by celebrating their gains and improvements during assessments, on daily tasks, and during class discussions. My dialogue with scholars during check in and checkouts proved valuable, allowing me to pour into scholars, increasing desire for extrinsic motivation from me, and also displaying increases in students motivating moving from performance avoidance and performance approach to mastery. Those students who were recognized as mastery approach strengthen their intrinsic motivations in their efforts and learning aligned to the self-determination theory. At the midpoint of the semester, I realized I was facing a serious instructional challenge. Student disengagement was increasing, assignments were not being submitted on time, grades on quizzes and tests were steadily declining, and I found that 45% of my seniors were failing. It was clear that many students no longer believed their effort mattered. A key predictor of motivation, according to the expectancy value theory, is that students voiced the content felt disconnected from their lives and priorities. Expectancy value theory, as explained by Kurt and by Dr. Brett Jones, tells us that students are motivated to engage when they believe, one, they can succeed, and two, that tasks have value. Without expectancy and value, effort collapses. To rebuild these beliefs, I implemented a comic book character grade ranking system. Each student selected was given and assigned a comic or cartoon character name, for example, Black Panther, Wonder Woman, Groot, or Bugs Bunny. Each week, instead of posting real names, I publicly posted grade rankings by character, updating progress in real time. The rankings were positioned as healthy competition outside of the classroom, emphasizing improvement rather than perfection, and protecting identity to ensure emotional safety. When students moved up the leaderboard, even by a single position, they received verbal praise and written feedback. I highlighted effort and progress, not score comparisons. This directly reflects expectancy value theory, which states that competence feedback increases expectancy beliefs and intrinsic motivations. Students reported feeling proud, motivated because improvement was visible and celebrated. In my experience, this feedback system transformed classroom culture. Students who previously turned in no work began submitting assignments specifically to avoid dropping positions. This aligns strongly with theory. Competence based reinforcement motivates progress. The anonymity made competition safe. Students weren't embarrassed. They were energized. They began tutoring each other, celebrating each other, and pushing each other upwards. This approach also connects further and shows how students argued they must understand why academic tasks matter and how effort leads to success. By demonstrating that point, and how it mattered, students began assigning more subject value to their learning. Several students told me I didn't think I could catch up, but now I see I can. This was evidence that the expectancy beliefs were being rebuilt. Because rankings were associated with anonymous character names, competition was safe and the identities protected. This prevented embarrassment and negative labeling that could diminish motivation. This was essential because expectancy value research warns negative feedback or public comparison can crush motivation, especially among low expectancy students. Within 3 weeks, the failure rates dropped from 45 to 18%, and student engagement noticeably increased. This motivational strategy taught me that when educators intentionally cultivate competence, value, autonomy, and positive reinforcements, students will rise. Expectancy value theory is not abstract. It transforms real classrooms, feedback works, reinforcement works, and culture of belief works. As educators, the power to influence motivation is always present in our expectations, our systems, and the environment we create. In the final scenario, students were struggling with relevance. They said they said the content didn't matter to their lives. So I redesigned the curriculum around civil disobedience and let students choose issues relevant to their communities. Students chose issues they cared about: immigration policy, mental health access, policing reform, housing, college affordability, and other topics, and researched how activists historically fought to change things from the past. Giving students voice, inc- giving student voices increased um, intrinsic motivation. Students are more motivated when their learning aligns with their personal and cultural values, and when goals are connected to identity and purpose. I saw this immediately. Students who were previously silent began speaking passionately, and assignment completion increased because the work mattered to them. This demonstrated the power of mastery approach and pro-social goals in enhancing motivation. Autonomy and ownership are critical elements of effective goal setting, especially when connected to achievement goal theory. As noted by Chang, students engage more when they are able to set meaningful personal goals rather than pursue external externally imposed goals. In practice, student selected research topics generated significantly stronger outcomes. Peer collaboration created pro social motivation. Students reminded each other of deadlines, shared articles, and helped redefine arguments. Cooperation strengthened accountability and engagement, moving all students from performance avoidance through pairing students to elevate other goal orientations such as performance approach, mastery avoidance, and mastery approach. Cooperative mastery based environments increase motivation, persistence, and academic achievement. When students hold one another accountable, reminding peers of deadlines, things always improve. Pro social learning environments help students experience success together, not in isolation, strengthening culture and communal values and their sense of belonging. Inspired by Carol Dweck's developing a growth mindset, I implemented a weekly individual and group conference time to recognize strengths and discuss steps of improvement. Reinforcement became personalized rather than public. Many students shared that this was the first time they felt a teacher invested in their progress rather than their grades. As Dweck argues, when learners believe ability is developed through effort, motivation, and resilience increase. And that was absolutely true in my classroom. As we've seen across all four scenarios, motivation isn't accidental. It is something we design. When we create environments that foster emotional safety, communicate belief, emphasize autonomy, and connect learning to students' lives, we ignite expectancy and value. These strategies transform self doubt into confidence, disengagement into participation, and low achievement into genuine growth. Every theory we explore today, Maslow, expectancy value, Pygmalion, goal orientation, pro social motivation, all become powerful only when applied intentionally in real classrooms. And you, as educators, hold that transformational power every day. So today I challenge you to begin implementing at least one motivational shift this week, whether it strengthens your routines for emotional safety, amplifying student autonomy, using growth focused feedback, or communicating higher expectations. Choose one step and put it into practice. These acts of motivation ripple far beyond one assignment or one lesson. They change how students see themselves as learners. Let's commit together to building classrooms where every student feels valued, capable, and motivated to succeed. Your belief in them fuels their belief in themselves. Thank you for the work you do and for being the catalyst for motivation in your students' lives.